Great to have you with us here at NHL Tonight, first shift on a Friday. Adnan Virkin to EJ Radic alongside Brian Boyle. We'll get to all the hockey in just a second, but I've always want to ask Boiler, well-documented one of many children. You had many children yourself. This must be an incredibly expensive time for you. Like, you must just wake up every day and be like, oh, holidays around the corner. Like, I'm just getting crushed right now. Forget about inflation. You just have so many children.
I got home on Tuesday from Disney World. I didn't book it, but I had to pay for it. Yeah. Well, why do you think I'm on TV so much? I couldn't pay for all this.
Evans, you had this great career on the road so much. I'm trying to get away from home.
I was a fourth liner. It was a fun career, but we're going to call it great. Let's pump the brakes on it.
A lengthy career then.
Yes.
The thing about Disney is like the joy of seeing your children there is wonderful, but everything else is exhausting. Right? The smile on the kids' faces is great, but everything else is awful.
Right, and it was some memories. We went over to Universal too. That was actually fun because we didn't have issues with lines. There was less people, and found out my 3-year-old has zero fear, and will go on any roller coaster he can fit on, which he can fit on probably more than he should. He's my son after all. He's a tall boy. But yeah, that was really, really cool. We did have some good, nice pictures, some good memories. Hey, look, guys, we actually did have fun here.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Flight home is a nightmare.
Look, just about the flight home, then we'll get to the hockey.
Do you want to know the flight home? So here's a great thing. When you're 6'7", you get the exit row, and if you're a child, you can't sit in the exit row. So I'm chilling in the exit row. And then my little twin, my 2-year-old daughter, sees me and has a meltdown. So I have to go up and get like real tight. And I had to hold her and we were only in Virginia at that point. I'm like, honey, wait till we get at least, past New York where I'll hold her for the last 30 minutes.
Right, that's not a big deal.
No. So I was, sweating. It was tough.
The perils of being 6'7", exit row, but a good dad, clutching that daughter for dear life. Here's what's coming up to the NHL Network first shift. Here we got Kraken head coach Lane Lambert going to join the show. Lane has done an unbelievable job with the Kraken right now. They're fighting for a playoff spot. He'll tell stories about their defense, Eberle's leadership, and what's happening in net. Mike Russo, senior writer for The Athletic, always does an excellent job in all things Minnesota. The resurgence of Matt Boldy and whether penalty kill is starting to turn around. Plus, Friday fun. The Sabres offering a unique souvenir. Crossing Swords coming up. First shift available on YouTube and YouTube Music as a podcast. But first things first, oh baby, not good news for the good people of Manitoba. Darren Dreger tweeting the NHL Jets are shutting down Connor Hellebuyck in order for him to undergo a minor arthroscopic knee procedure. It is anticipated Hellebuyck will be out 4 to 6 weeks. You ever hear minor? I always say to myself, boy, like any type of surgery. I know it's supposed to be minor, but it's still surgery. And this guy's been an absolute workhorse. Most games played in the last 5 seasons. He's just behind UC Saros overall. I talked to Scott Arniel last year. This is obviously before what happened with the Jets in the playoffs. And I said, do you ever think about not starting Hellebuyck so much? Because come playoff time, the narrative is, well, he's not the same guy, he's too tired, et cetera. And Arnie said, listen, we go through the schedule together. He tells me, all right, I'm playing. Like he goes, if a guy wants to play, it's very hard to pull back the reins on that. Now, I'm curious about this season because of the fact that the playoff disappointment. But the way I'm going to spin it to you is this. Is there any kind of positive you can say, you know what, normally come playoff time, Hellebuyck is not as good as his regular season. This time he'll be injured. Hopefully he comes back healthy, but he won't have played as much.
I don't subscribe to that. And listen, it could maybe from a mental point of view, okay, the grind, because last year there was no mental grind ending that season. So when the playoffs started, it was just, here we go. That team had no issues.
Yeah, they were coaching.
It was a joke for them. And this will be interesting because maybe he can get into playoff mode. There could be a positive here. And again, I usually don't subscribe to this, but if they're fighting for points to get into the playoffs, he needs to get into playoff mode earlier.
Right.
All these points will matter that much more. So the transition to, okay, round 1 now after game 82 isn't like, now it's for real. Right. And so from a physical standpoint, I have no issue with him playing a lot. It's not like after game 82 he gets exhausted because he played well right throughout the season last year. Obviously, you saw the accolades. He won the Hart Trophy as a goaltender. So that stuff I never bought into, he plays too much. That's why the playoffs aren't as good as maybe we expect from him.
Yeah.
I think that, last year he had 4 nations. He had been in those moments. I thought, whatever, he got through that first round. He slayed that dragon. So if you want to spin it, you want to throw it in a spin zone, if they don't play as well, which I don't think is a great thing either for the Winnipeg franchise, but if they don't play as well and they're fighting for points, this could be a positive.
And I think it's probably going to go down that road. Like, looking at Central right now, especially without Hellebuyck for 4 to 6, as you said, things are fairly tight as we're 20 games into the season. But you're right. Theoretically, if you just tread water without him, which would be a statement to be like, hey, let's just be 500 without our Hart Trophy winning goaltender, he comes back, you are going to need him to ascend and push. There's no question about it.
Right. But at least we get Eric Comrie quotes.
That's true. Comrie's always good for a quote.
He's a ball of fun. I'd rather interview him every day. He's amazing. I think this is a pretty good structured team.
Yeah.
I think there's enough in front of them where they can, and a smart enough team. You get Lowry back now, and he'll get better as the season progresses because he has been out for a while. I think Taves might get better and better as the season progresses. He might still dip before that, but then I think second half he's going to be a big impact player for them.
Yeah.
And he might not light up the score sheet, but these are guys that will understand what's happening with the team, understand how they have to play with the team, and win games the way they have to be won. They'll play the game as it's supposed to be played. They'll defend hard. They're always going to play hard, this Winnipeg team. They could still position themselves in a good spot. I don't think they'll be at the top of the Central, obviously. He's too important, Connor Hellebuyck.
Right.
But I think they'll be okay.
Mike Kelly's tweet, by the way, Boiler mentioned their structure. Their structure not as good this season as it was a year ago. So Hellebuyck, 16 goals saved above expected in 14 games. Jets have not been the strong defensive team they were last season. Comrie has been solid, getting Sandberg back helps, but Hellebuyck a huge part of the Jets' success, and that is definitely true. The other part of this is, how does this impact USA's Olympic thought process? This guy's going to be the starting goaltender for Team USA. Theoretically, he comes back, there's enough time, but you're right. Now all of a sudden, you're cranking right around the corner of the Olympics coming.
Listen, I think it's still really early. There's going to be more injuries. Who the heck knows what's going to happen, in 10 weeks' time. Yeah. But you have Ottinger, you have Swayman, you have Decord, you have Thatcher Demko. If he's healthy, is an electric goalie. That guy, he could be the best of the bunch when he's healthy, but that's a problem. He's not always healthy.
Right. Spencer Knight.
Spencer Knight has been great. Jonathan Quick, who has played in big moments and has come in, has zero ego. I don't think you can sleep on Johnny Quick. So I don't think that's going to be an issue for USA. I think you want your best 3 guys, no question. But I think Hellebuyck will be fine. He'll have enough of a runway, maybe a month runway, to get some game action in him.
I think you're just fired up for Jonathan Quick because he's going after guys.
Give me Quickie.
He's scoring on empty netters. He's just taking it personally. Guys are scoring on empty netters.
He's a warrior.
Fighting Brawlett, 2-time Stanley Cup winner. The
3.
Great American goal. 3 goals. You're right. 3 cups. One of the great American goalies of all time. Meantime, enough Connor Hellebuyck. Let's get to Connor Bedard. From one Connor to another, this guy's had an unbelievable season so far, and yet, how about this behavior? A late abuse of an official penalty as the Kraken score on the power play to win it 3-2. Now, Bedard has had, again, an excellent season so far. But the fact that he has this penalty happen, you have to wonder about his thought process afterwards. Here was his reaction to the call.
Well, it's a penalty, so that's where we got to control. We can control, but when I walk in the room and see when you don't have position of the guy and you put your stick in there and you hit his glove, which he did. Yes, he got the stick after, but the first contact was on his glove. That's a penalty. I don't know what was said. It better have been really, 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 really personal to be that sensitive about it because you're deciding games. If it was super personal, I wasn't there. I don't know, but it better have been really, really, really personal. If you're not going to have enough thick skin to just keep playing through it.
Kind of a funny quote there from Jeff Blasser. Clearly upset that the star player gets that call. Here's Connor Bedard's reaction, by the way, on the unsportsmanlike penalty. Obviously, in the moment, you think it's a penalty, but I have to control my emotions in a better way. I put our team in a vulnerable spot there, so just got to be better. I find there's 2 types of people in life, Boiler. There's those who are pro referee and hey, it's a hard job. I get where they're coming from. Then people are just always mad at referees. So I'm not sure which camp you're on, but I see that. I have kind of an idea where you're leaning. But I'm kind of what Blasher was saying. I don't think the official had rabbit ears, but it's tough when you're calling a superstar an abusive and official call. You don't see that call very often, is my point.
Right. Now, I don't play anymore, so I love the refs. The refs are great. It's a very tough, very hard job.
Yes.
And they are going to make mistakes. Where the penalty wasn't called, where I think the penalty actually happened on Connor Bedard, was after, obviously, the infraction that he thought. Right here, he stops. You cannot go out of your way during gameplay or even after a whistle
and
show up a ref like this.
I thought
this is a young
ref. Here the stick kind of waves, that kind of taunt almost.
And all of that, the body language, the optics of what he did, that is, in my mind, where the penalty happens on Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
He leans back, and that's a young official he's going after who doesn't have a ton of experience, but he's skating through the neutral zone. He leans back and yells again, and I think he had enough. That's when the decision was made. I very, very much disagree with what Jeff Blashill says, but I don't disagree why he said it.
Yeah.
I think there's been huge leaps from Connor Bedard. I think what Connor Bedard said post-game is fine. I think he should find that official and apologize as well. And this is coming from a guy who has an abuse of an official's penalty, maybe more than one. I got misconducts. One time I got kicked out on purpose. I was playing so poorly, and John Cooper kept playing me. I was going after Dan O'Halloran, and I was picking a fight with him to give me a 10.
Just to get out of the game. I'm not playing.
I was going to give our team a better chance to win. We ain't leaving.
Addition by subtraction.
And I apologized to Dan, and we talked about it, and he knew. He goes, I knew you were trying to get kicked out of the game. I told them, and they didn't believe me. And listen, it's the truth.
Yeah.
But it's not for lack of respect.
By the way, did
for
it
them.
work when you get kicked out? Did it fire up the team?
We were down 4-1, and it was quickly 4-3. We didn't end up winning, but we played a lot better.
Fair enough.
So if Coop just scratched me, we might have beat the Bruins that night. But listen, this is a kid who's come so far. Yeah. This year, he has put himself in the conversation to be on the Canadian Olympic team. He is becoming that superstar we thought he was.
Yeah. It's
not a straight line to being perfect. Like, you look back at one of the greatest people and players I've ever gotten a chance to be around is Sidney Crosby, and he was yappy when he was a young player in the league too. So these are part of the maturation process. I think Jeff Blashill is going to defend his superstar young player who's come so far, but he's probably told him that, like the body language thing, you cannot do that. You cannot show up an official in that way.
Kind of like in baseball, you don't like a strike call, you walk away and kind of mutter something.
Yeah.
You don't go face to face. Once you start doing that, John,
you're gone. You're gone.
Yeah, that's pretty clear cut. All right, meantime, Alexander Ovechkin, speaking of one future star in Connor Bedard and an established star in Ovechkin, scoring his 33rd career hat trick last night. This is an interesting Washington team because last year they were a pleasant surprise, number one in the Eastern Conference. This year they've gotten off to a slow start. Right now they're a wild card team, and the East is so ridiculous. There's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 9 teams within 2 points of each other. But right now Washington is a wild card team. But Ovechkin to get the hat trick. I mean, overall in hockey history, Gretz has 50, which is kind of insane. Mario Lemieux has 40. Mike Bossy, who might be the most purest goal scorer, 0.76 goals per game. And then there's Ovi and Brett Hull. I mean, there's no surprise these are the game's greatest goal scorers, but for Ovechkin to still get a hat trick at this stage, awesome.
Oh, it's in his start. He's up to 10 goals. Like his start, everyone's like, oh, this is it. Like, he
got the record.
Pushed so hard. He got the record, and this is a great story, etc. No, he's still Alex Ovechkin. There's a reason this guy is one of the game's legends, and he's still playing.
Yeah.
It's incredible to me, and he's got that chemistry going with Strome again. It looks like this team has another 1-2 punch in terms of lines where they got the emergence of a Ryan Leonard. Alexei Protas just keeps getting better and better, but this team's, I mean, when Ovi scores, this team tends to do well. They've got the goaltending now, right?
Yeah.
Like they have Logan Thompson, who's been unbelievable this year.
Yeah.
John Carlson's still doing it on the back end. I think they're going to get better and better. Every team's in the wild card right now.
Correct.
Even if you're above a wild card, it's just like it's incredible to see the parity, especially in the East.
There's been some stories about people asking for memorabilia now from Ovechkin. Hey, can you sign my stick? Can you do this? Do you think this is it for him? I think he still has more hockey in him.
Yeah, and I think, what was it, Kopitar he gave a jersey to? Kopitar's done. And Alex, I will say this, like I got to play in an All-Star game. Ovi brings like 25 hockey sticks to the All-Star game. And he signs them all and he gives them out to people.
That's awesome.
And at the end, he taps me, he says, Boiler, I got your stick, it's on your bag.
Awesome.
And I'm like, it's unbelievable. That's great. He looks at me, he goes, you asked me for a stick, right? And I was like,
I didn't, but I'll happily take one.
No, yeah, you did. And he walks away, and I'm like, this guy just knows.
Yes.
And it's not an arrogance thing. He just has the understanding of where he is in the game, his place in the game.
Yeah.
He's not going to apologize for it, and he's going to do well with it. He does good things with it, and yeah, he's going to take time and give time to people. My dad flagged him down at the All-Star game. And chewed his ear for 10 minutes. I'm like, get out of here. Let the guy walk around. But he's just that type of guy as well. And I'm happy to see him do well. I don't want to see a day where he's not doing well in the NHL while he's playing.
I just wish that 10-minute combo, your dad Ovechkin, then led to drinks with Ovechkin, vodka shots like that.
Yeah,
Party with Ovechkin.
Yeah, the old man can't hang. He can't hang with Ovi.
You can't do that. There's no
I love him. He's a tough guy, my old man, but he's not. Love you, Dad. Ovi would have put you under the table.
By the way, when it comes to Tom Wilson, this is interesting. So no supplemental discipline for Wilson. Jake Evans lapped the game after being hit by Wilson in the second period. So that was a big hit. My question to you is this. Tom Wilson's making a case potentially for Team Canada. This is a guy who makes a reputation on what? Tough stuff, being feisty, chirping, etc. But you look at his overall numbers, like this guy brings not only a physical element, but also has the talent to back it up. Could be on Team Canada.
Oh, I don't know why he wasn't on the Four Nations team, especially with the NHL rules. Listen, he can skate, he can defend, he can kill penalties, he can blow you up.
Yeah.
Obviously, he can fight. They won't be fighting there.
Right.
He can score goals. He can create offense. He can make plays. What can he not bring as a winger, a power forward to a team? Who else in the league can do what he does?
Right.
He's a unicorn for a reason. He can change the game in a shift, in an instant, and not just because he can hit you hard. And we're going to show all these highlights, but he could blow by your D-man and bring it to the net and score. And he can set up somebody with a great feed. He has all the tools. And if you build a guy in the lab, it's going to help you win playoff games or tight games. That's the guy you want to build as in terms of a forward.
How many guys can I say do you have 11 goals and lead the league in penalty minutes?
Well, he's not going to shy away from it.
Yeah, right.
And listen, there's hits that are clean that he gives that he won't get the benefit of the doubt because he hits you so hard.
Right.
He's so incredibly strong. It's certainly intimidating, and that is still a big factor in the game today.
Yeah, we'll see if Team Canada perhaps gives him a look with the Olympics coming up in Torino. Meantime, Dylan Strome missing the birth of his daughter last night. Congrats to Dylan. Exactly. Could be in the doghouse. Congratulations to Dylan and Taylor Strome on welcoming their third child together. Mom and baby girl Sutton are both doing great. We can't get Dylan home fast enough. Here's Strome emotional after this. By the way, he played great.
Yes.
While the first period was going on, my warrior of a wife had our third daughter while we were on the ice. So really proud of her. It's tough, and you obviously want to be there for the birth of your children, and didn't know it was coming this soon, but can't wait to go see her. So Sutton Kimberly Strome is my third daughter, was born at 7:30 today. Hockey was not really on my mind going out for the first period, but I got the call after the first that she was there. So just incredible, and I can't stress enough how super proud I am of her.
Had 3 assists in the game. So a little bit of dad strength inspired him. Congrats to Dylan Strome. Again, I guess at that point, there's nothing else you can do. We're playing the game. I'm playing for my child, play well. But again, you have many children. You have a story about your third child. What happened?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulations to the Stromes and to all the hockey wives/mothers out there.
Yes.
It is not easy. There's a
Husband's
lot of
not there. He's on the road.
Well, everybody plans these births, and everybody you don't know in professional sports. And there's a lot of great things about professional sports, obviously, but you can't replace that. And he's never going to be able to see the birth of his third daughter. He loses out on that. They're in Montreal. There's customs you have to clear. There's just no way he would have gotten in there in time. And those are some of the sacrifices that whole family has to make, which is, it's really tough. It's
easy to say you get well compensated, make a lot of money, but that is a priceless moment, as any father knows.
Absolutely. And he gets emotional, but he made the most of it. And he did 3 assists, and I credit him because I wouldn't have been able to, I don't even know if I would have been able to tape my stick. I'd have been so devastated.
Just rattled.
So we had a practice at PPG Paints at one point where my wife was very pregnant with our third, Callum, and my wife she's fairly tough herself. Apparently she was having contractions all night and didn't really tell me. So I go to the practice in the morning and I call her before. I've been calling her every hour basically because it's pretty much close to go time. I'm in Pittsburgh, she's in Boston. She's like, I'm not feeling great, but go to practice, call me after. Yeah. And I'm going to call your sister. My sister's a doctor. My sister Jen went over to check on her. And I go into the team meeting before practice. And she calls me up, where the heck are you? I said, I'm in the locker room. She goes, what the hell are you doing? I said, I'm having a coffee. Why are you yelling at me? Get on a plane right now, your wife's in labor. And I was like, she didn't tell me that. So I went to Sully, who was the coach, and Jason Seiling, who did all of our man, that guy was my guardian angel that day. He got me, the plane was leaving 40 minutes from that moment.
Oh, my God.
I was in my gear. I had to get changed. I get to the airport.
How far is the airport?
20 minutes. We got on the plane. It was like a 25-minute delay. So I got on the plane.
Yeah.
We didn't know that at the time.
Right.
We just gave it a try.
Right.
Got on the plane.
Get through security. All right, no problem.
Oh, yeah. Get there, land, get in a cab, get to the hospital, and 11 minutes later, which is my jersey number, I'm holding my son. I walk in, our doctor said, oh, he's here, you want to go? And I said, let's go. She's like, all right, grab a leg. I'm like, I thought there were nurses for that. I could be up by that. No, all right. So, and then, yeah, he was there, and New Year's Day.
Just imagine like the doctor's sitting there, like, just kind of, oh, he's here. You ready to go? Like, let's do it.
Well,
now.
at the time, too, so there was, for some reason, her water broke, but there was some part of it that was keeping him in. And the doctor's like, at any minute, we could have this baby.
Right.
And she said, I want to wait for him. My wife did.
Yeah, that's sweet of her.
Which is insane.
Right.
But
I
my
mean,
sister's looking at her like, are you crazy? And yeah, so I walked in. She said, you made it. And I made it. And yeah, that's another stick taps to my wife for getting through that.
And Callum knew. He just wanted to have Dad there.
He did.
And the jersey number, 11 minutes. Like, that part's incredible.
I know. January 1, his birthday's 1122. So my other jersey was 22. And then the next game we played against Philly, I scored a shorthanded goal.
And there you go. See, it all comes together,
Yeah,
dude. It's awesome.
nice.
Dad strength is a real thing. I love it. More stories to come as we continue here at NHL Tonight First Shift. When we come back, it's one of the most pleasant surprises of this season. The Seattle Kraken are off and rolling. We'll ask their new coach, Lane Lambert, what's been the secret to their success when we come back. We continue here at NHL Tonight First Shift. Here's a look at the Pacific Division standings. So the surprising Ducks right now are in first place, 1 point up in the Golden Knights. But check out the Seattle Kraken. That's right, beat the Blackhawks 3-2 on Thursday. Off to an excellent start so far this season, 10-5-5. It's a pleasure bringing their head coach, Lane Lambert, right now. Lane, congratulations on what's been a terrific start so far for Seattle. It's interesting, when you took over this team, what did you think of the club, and what do you know now about this team?
Well, I thought that there was a lot of a decent amount of depth for sure, and I knew we had some youth, some young guys coming in, and we want to continue to develop them, and so we put an emphasis and a focus on our structure and our detail and establishing a culture and a standard that we want to play by. So. That was sort of the mindset coming in, and I think our guys, players and our older players have done a real good job up until this point, for sure, of embracing that and taking ownership of that.
Lane, I would always imagine as a head coach moving somewhere, if there's some semblance of a defensive conscience, which I think this Seattle team has shown they've had in the past, that playoff run they had, they showed it there. Is that more exciting for you? I think that's probably the hardest part to really have guys commit to if I'm a coach coming in to an organization. Is that something that would have excited you to take this opportunity?
Well, there's no question that there's always some excitement if you look back, to the run that they did have in terms of how they played. And, it was just a matter for me of revisiting that, bringing in some of what I think are important, details from that standpoint in the defensive side. And the players, like I said, the players have bought into it. We give ourselves a chance to win every night. Doesn't mean we're going to, and it certainly doesn't mean that we're perfect. But there's been a real buy-in, and our players have done a real good job of that.
Speaking of buy-in, how about the leadership of Eberle? That seems to be really something. He's filled that void for this team.
Yeah, no, he and I've had a relationship with him way back with the Islanders when we went on some nice runs into the conference finals a couple of years in a row. He's been great for us. Came off a big injury last year. It just shows you, his leadership and his dedication. He's as he gets older here, he's changed the way he's trained, his nutrition, he's paid attention to that, and coming off of this injury, he's been a real catalyst for us, that's for sure.
Now going forward, is there a buzz around the room? I mean, you could probably sense it with your team and the players, you mentioned the depth. There's 8 guys who are double-digit points right now, and McCann's been out. He's been hurt. He's another guy that you expect to drive some offense. Is there excitement with these guys to keep getting better? We can do something this year, especially with the way sort of that division seems to be going so far.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the league in general. You know that it's crazy how close it is in every division and conferences and all the teams above 500. The parity's amazing, and our guys. We believe in ourselves. We believe that we have a good team and we can give ourselves a chance to win every night. And there's no question about it. And I think that's the exciting thing, and that's why there's been so much. Buy-in from them is because, if you see you do things the right way, then, you can get rewarded for it. And like I said, you don't always get rewarded for it, but certainly you give yourself an opportunity to have success.
Between the pipes, Accord's really taken a step as a true starter here, Lane. How about his puck handling ability? Like, I remember growing up loving Ron Hextall, Marty Brodeur, Marty Turco, you name it. It feels like Joey's in that mold.
He is. He's one of the best I've seen. I had Pekka Rinne in Nashville when we first started out. I had Peck in Milwaukee as my starting goalie when I was coaching there for 2 years, and it's just such a weapon. He can get out and he cuts off back of the net, rims from the hash marks and things like that. So he's really good at it. We really encourage him to do it. And every once in a while, if he makes a mistake, so what? The fact is that he's helping us break pucks out. There's no question.
Yeah, we had Ben Bishop in Tampa, and he got injured. It just changed the whole dynamic of how we broke pucks out. I am a huge proponent on goalies that can play the puck. I agree with you, Lane. That's a huge advantage. I want to ask you about a kid from my town, Hingham, Mass, Matty Beniers. Are we going to get him to shoot the puck a little bit more, or what's going on there? I love his game. I've loved him since before he was drafted. I got to play with him at World Championships. I think he's such a mature kid. Let's get him shooting the puck, though. Come on.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're right. You're right about loving him. You're right about his game. He played at Michigan with my nephew, and I watched him play a couple of times there. The 200-foot game is the one that really impresses me. He can make plays. Yes, would we like him to shoot the puck a little more? I think we'd like our whole team to shoot the puck a little more. If you look at our attempts, we need to get those up. There's no question about it. But just his work ethic and, again, his attention to detail and, the fact that he's a sponge. He wants to learn. And he's really come a long way this year in terms of his whole 200-foot game.
Lane, overall, you guys are top 10 in terms of goals against. It's really been a strength. How about your overall team defense? Looks like a strength in numbers approach to team success has worked for your D-core.
Yeah, well, we feel like our defense is extremely good, and again, we just try to put our goaltenders in the best environment to have success, and it's a five-man thought process, and there's no question that we want to continue with that.
So how I see, Philip Grubauer signs a big ticket there. You see what Joey Accord's got. How has his mentality been? Because he's played great. He's given you some great games, some great minutes. How has that dynamic worked out? Is there an understanding there? Is Grubauer still pushing? Does he want the net more?
Well, we started here with 3 goalies, and we have Matt Murray that's hurt right now. I can't say enough about Philip Grubauer and Matt Murray. Joey's our number 1 goalie. These guys, they've put in the extra work. Our goaltender coach, Colin Zuliano, has done a great job of keeping both of these guys prepared. And that's, been a lot of extra time. When you've got, 2 extra goalies or 2 goalies that aren't playing, as opposed to 1, it's a completely different dynamic. The professionalism of, all 3 goalies, and certainly, Gruby and Murray has been amazing for us. And there's a reason they're having success when they do come into the net, and it's because they are professional and they just go about their business every day.
With a name like Lane Lambert, at what age were you called the Lane Train? I'm going to guess 4.
No, I guess I just turned 61 the other day, so I guess 61 because you're the first one I've ever heard call me that.
Here comes the pain with the Lane Train. Lane, seriously, congratulations on what's been a fantastic start for the Kraken. Keep it going, all right?
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Lane Lambert, the Kraken get set to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Still to come here on NHL tonight. Lots more to get into, including the surging Minnesota Wild. We'll talk to our insider, Mike Russo, on what's fueling Minnesota. That's next. We continue on NHL tonight, first shift, and yeah, it's been kind of wild right now for Minnesota. October, they're middling, 3-6-3, the -16 goal differential. Penalty kill abysmal at 60%. But how about November? They've been flying so far. 3 goals per game. Okay, but look at the goals against. I mean, you're talking 2 fewer goals per game, and the penalty kill has been much improved. To bring in our Minnesota Wild insider, he always does a fantastic job. Mike Russo joins us right now. Mike, how about these blazing starts to Minnesota? They scored first a franchise record 10 straight games and 13 total times this season. The only team, the league with a longer streak, the 2021-2022 Avs, who scored first in 13 straight. You always hear the importance of scoring the first goal. Minnesota is proving it, right?
Absolutely. And if you go back to that October chart, the Wild, other than Boston, trailed the most out of any team in the NHL. So it's been a complete flip on its head here. And really the turning point was the last time the Wild played the Pittsburgh Penguins. They had an awful game. They actually played well the first 2 periods. All they had to do was win a period at home in the third. They came out, they played flat, they gave up 3 goals. And next thing you know, the next morning, Jared Spurgeon called a team meeting. It was a real positive meeting. And I know, Brian could talk about team meetings. Sometimes it's a little cliche when things turn around, but there's no denying that ever since that team meeting, they're 7-1-1. They've got back to their hard-nosed identity where they're blocking shots, they're hard on the forecheck, and they're defending impeccably. As you mentioned, the second best goals against in the NHL since November 1.
I just wonder, Michael, about the expectations. Last year and even the years prior, it looked like you're squeezing a dollar out of a nickel with this sort of how they were hamstrung with the cap and all the injuries. Was it just an expectation amongst the group, like this year is going to be easier because we have our guys, we have some cap flexibility. We signed up Kirill, we have our nucleus, everybody's ready to rock. Maybe was there any sort of excuse coming out of October, like we thought it was going to be different?
I definitely think there's a great point there. I think that this team, first of all, they got off to a great start last year and then wound up with the injuries to Kirill and Eriksson Ek and so many guys in the second half of the season. They made the playoffs in a miracle. Eriksson Ek scored with 20 seconds left in the finale, and they won the tiebreaker over Calgary to make the playoffs. And I think they thought that once that big splash was done with both Gustafsson and Kirill Kaprizov, that this thing was going to be easy to start the season. They just got away from their identity really quick. The one big thing here is that they have been inundated with injuries lately, and yet they're still winning. And it shows that they have an improved depth right now. And it really does show that last year they were calling up guys from the minors that weren't making an impact. They were constantly dealing with LTI situations. And right now they're just playing probably their best hockey in a long time.
Matt Boldy, Mike, he netted his first career shorthanded goal later out of the shootout winner. Points in 5 straight games, second only to Kirill Kaprizov in terms of team scoring. What has been the key to his resurgence?
Yeah, 6 goals in the last 7 games, but I think it comes on the other side of the puck as well. He competes so hard in the along the wall in his own end, and has really found a real good home here with Marcus Johansson, who's had a fabulous start to the season, and Joel Eriksson Ek, where they're just playing great two-way hockey. Eriksson Ek especially has been shutting down opposing top lines really for the last 4 or 5 games. So Matt is a huge compliment to that line. He's a star in the making. I remember last year when he made the Four Nations team, a lot of people kind of accused Bill Guerin of nepotism because he was his own guy here with the Minnesota Wild. But I think people are realizing around the league what type of young star this kid is.
Yeah, you can't sleep on Matt Boldy, Mass kid, Boston College. Come on now.
It comes back to Mass.
What are we doing? How do you anybody argue with that? Now, I mean, you just look at having him on that second line. What a luxury for John Hynes to be able to have this depth scoring. I mean, we all know Kirill's a superstar. Last year he was on pace, or he was very much at the front runner of the Hart Trophy conversation. Having him healthy and back, having Zuccarello now back, just starting to semblance, the lineup assembling, looking like it's really going to be dangerous if you get like a Rossi back and everybody's clicking on all cylinders. They haven't had that in Minnesota in quite a while. It's an exciting offensive sort of team you can put out there and matchup nightmare for oppositions.
Absolutely, and Zuccarello's been a huge key, and you know him well, Brian, from your days in New York. But he's just getting better with age. His points per game since Kirill Kaprizov debuted is .98 compared to .6 before he was 35 years old. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Zuccarello, since he's been back in the lineup, the Wild haven't lost in regulation. So his injury to start the season created havoc with this team. Boldy was expected to do everything. Kirill was expected to do everything. And once Zuccarello got back, everybody just got in line. And it's allowed them, whether you want to call the Eriksson Ek line the first line or whatever line Kirill's on the first line, what it's done is it's put Boldy in the right spot, and it's now given them secondary scoring where now opposing teams can't just check the heck out of Boldy and Kirill Kaprizov and expect this team to be completely shut down. They now have more depth up and down their lineup.
The depth is important, and certainly in net as well. Phil Gustafsson gets the call tonight. The Gus Bus, a sub-900 save percentage, but it's not been an issue because the goaltending's been so great, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Gustafsson, the last 2 or 3 starts has been outstanding. And obviously, Wallstedt has been a huge, huge surprise this team. He's gotten the Wild starts, points in all 7 of his starts. He's been exceptional. He's putting a lot of pressure on Gus to perform when he gets in the net. And I think Gus has been welcoming of that. They're really, really good friends off the ice. They have a great, healthy competition on the ice. And to your point, as long as both goalies are playing well, they are going to, I don't want to say a strict rotation here like Carolina Hurricanes do, but there's no doubt in this condensed schedule where we're seeing everybody get hurt. The Wild had a late game a couple nights ago, then they had a fly here. They fly to Winnipeg tonight. It just made sense to come with Gus, who was really good in his last couple starts, to go with him tonight in Pittsburgh, then go with Wally most likely in Winnipeg, and then the Wild have a big game in Chicago next week as well. So both goalies have performed extremely, extremely well this month.
Yeah, I mean, and it's worked for Gus in the past, that platoon where with Marc-Andre Fleury, but then you run the risk of what are we going to do in the playoffs? Maybe you try to avoid that if you're John Hynes, if you're Bill Guerin, I guess, but you got to go with the guy that's hot. Now this isn't really the same thing. But is there a little healthy competition with Faber and Bouillon in terms of who's running the show offensively? Is there enough to go around sort of with the offensive depth now? You can run 2 power play units. John Hynes can maybe trust 2 power play units. Or are they trying to compete with each other, which I think is healthy?
Yeah, I think they're trying to compete with each other, but I do think that it really helps having Faber here insulating a guy like Boehm.
Yeah.
So Boehm has started the season on the number 1 unit. Faber wasn't even on the power play. Then suddenly Faber got off to a tough start. He was put back on the second power play unit, and ever since then, he's been absolutely awesome. And I think he just got back to feeling normal. Some guys just don't like to have less ice time, and they were trying to lower his ice time this season to keep him fresher in the second half of the season. But the reality is that Faber has the legs and the stamina to play 24, 25 minutes a game. So Boehm right now is back on that number 1 unit, but we've seen at times Faber go there. And, regardless of what's going on with the competition, what they really need is Faber playing on top of his game. And his last 7, 8, 9 games have been exceptional and after a real tough start to the season. So I think that they're really happy just the way that their blue line has played lately. Jared Spurgeon's another one. Yeah. Hasn't been scored on 5-on-5 in his last 160 minutes on the ice. He's just, that there's another guy that just seems to never gets old, both looking and on the ice. He's just a tremendous hockey player.
That's a credit to Spurgeon, certainly. Last thought from me, Mike. It's interesting with the Connor Hellebuyck news coming down today. He's out 4 to 6. Winnipeg was such a wagon a year ago. Does this open things up a little bit, you think, for Minnesota in the Central?
I think so. I mean, look, the Wild put themselves in a real tough position, and they've played more, even though they're in that top threshold now, they've played more games than everybody north of them in the standings. And look, Winnipeg is a team that's had the Wild's number the last 3 years. I don't think the Wild have beaten them in the last 3 years. So obviously going there in a couple of days and not having Hellebuyck in the lineup, he's a big reason why that is the case. So that'll be huge for the Wild going into that game. But I do think it opens it up. Obviously, Colorado's been a wagon this year. Dallas got off to a slow start. They're playing much, much better. And then Chicago's gotten off to a really surprising start. But I think the Wild right now have put themselves in a position where they feel like they're heading in the right direction. And obviously, Hellebuyck not being in their lineup is just a massive, massive loss for the Jets.
Last 2 things for me. Did you get any sort of compensation last year for all the X posts you were making with the just the yo-yoing that was going between Iowa and Minnesota. I was following you last year. Just it was a comedy show. All the different hoops that Bill Guerin had to go through, calling guys out, letting them paper transaction. That was very impressive. And the second thing, the more important thing, I guess, is Marcus Foligno. Not the stats that he really wants. I saw him get interviewed and how he's really just trying to stay to his game. How contagious is that throughout the rest of the room? Obviously, he wants to get on the board with a goal. But how has his mentality been? How's his attitude been around the room? Is it as positive as I would imagine it being, having so much respect for a guy like Marcus Foligno?
Absolutely. I mean, Foligno, you know him. I mean, he is the probably the quintessential leader on this team. He's absolutely irreplaceable from that standpoint. Even when he's not scoring, he adds so much to the lineup in terms of being one of the best defensive forwards in the National Hockey League, but also his physical impact. And he's gotten back to that game. Like, he looks a lot more like the Marcus Foligno that we've grown accustomed to seeing the last couple of weeks. And I know that he badly wants to score a goal. I've never seen a guy that's in a slump that constantly mentions to the media that he's in this slump. So he needs one to, bang in off his butt or an empty net goal or something to just start feeling good about themselves. But I think he's one of those players that in this lineup, very few people worry about, and it'll happen for him at some point.
And special teams feels like it's critical tonight, Mike. Pittsburgh, number one power play, 34%. The Wild, 28th in PK at 73%.
Absolutely. And the Wild's penalty kill has been much, much better this month, as you mentioned at the top, 87%. But it is huge. And Pittsburgh's had the Wild's number the last several years. I think it's 11-2-1 in the last 14 meetings, the Penguins and the Wild. So obviously tonight's a huge game to just continue this rolling into a couple divisional games coming up here this upcoming week.
And as Lane Lambert told us off air, how's the weather in Pittsburgh? A little dreary tonight?
Yeah, a little dreary, and it's supposed to pour tonight. And hopefully I get out of here tomorrow morning because it's apparently like 95% to rain in the morning. But I'm a glass half empty guy, so some people would tell me that means there's 5% chance that it's not going to rain, but I don't buy it.
Nobody flies this time of year anyway. It'll be fine.
Exactly. Yeah. No problem. Right around the holidays. Senior writer for The Athletic, Michael Russo. Thanks so much, Mike. This was great.
Yep. See you guys.
All right, good stuff from Michael Russo. Still to come here on NHL Tonight First Shift. Panic or patience when it comes to the Oilers, the Rangers, the Panthers, or Leafs? Boiler will tell us which one we should be feeling when we come back. All right, time now for a little panic or patience. Adnan Burke, Brian Boyle. We continue here on a Friday NHL Tonight First Shift. The first team is the Edmonton Oilers. Panic or patience? I'm going to say patience. You still have Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. They made the Cup final last 2 seasons, and the third best power play in the NHL, almost 30%. I know it's been a struggle bus right now. Yeah. What do you got, panic or patience?
I'm going to say patience as well.
Okay.
I'd love to make it good TV, but we've seen this story before from this team.
Correct.
I just think that Chris Knoblauch will kick it into gear with his sort of the intensity that they play with. I think they'll figure out the recipe that will give them success, that has given them success in the past. I think McDavid will score some more goals. And there's just too much top-heavy talent, which we've seen from these two superstars that can really carry them. I think they definitely need like a guy like Trent Frederick, who's starting to get some offense going. He needs to be more of an impact player.
Yeah. And
defensively, they just need to be harder. And they know that. I think if they're harder to play against a little bit and win more battles, this team is going to be the team that we've seen in April, May, and June the last couple of years.
Yeah, the defense is an eyesore. They're allowing the fifth most goals against per game, 3.57. Got to clean that up both ends.
Yeah.
All right, next up, the New York Rangers, a team that Brian Boyle's calling 19 games in the booth. He'll do some studio as well for them. Right now in the Metro, they're last. But again, look at the point total. I mean, you're 6 points separating, 8 teams, which is a little bit ridiculous. I would say patience because they can't be this bad at home. They've still got star power. It's a new system with Sully there as the head coach. The worst home record in the NHL is an eyesore, 1-7-1, but I would be patient with this team.
Again, I am 100%. For all the reasons you just mentioned. It's a new team, and it takes a little bit of time to really adapt and be cohesive with what your head coach wants you to do. Obviously, there were some warts last year that needed to be cleaned up, and that takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You need a little more from Panarin, a little more from Lafreniere. We'll see if that will happen, but I think that the structure that they're going to play with will help them defend better, and if they defend better, their all-world goaltending that they have, both guys will continue to play all-world, and they'll win games and get points.
Yeah, right now the offense, the concern, they're averaging the third fewest goals per game, just 2.5. Yeah. All right, Florida Panthers. I've said patience twice. I wouldn't mind saying it a third time because they have a ton of injuries. But what the hell? I'm going to go panic. Sam Bennett hasn't been great. 7 points. He's a -7 in 20 games. Bobrovsky's 37 years old. He's played a ton of hockey. And eventually, Boiler, it catches up to you. You keep saying, well, they're the champs until they lose. But this is a laundry list of injuries. You can't just flip the switch and go, oh, wait, we'll figure this out in March. I'm like, no, it's going to be too late. I'm panicking about the Panthers.
I am actually panicking as well.
All right.
Yeah, we are. This is
simpatico.
They could have more injuries. It's not like this is it for the injuries. They've played so much hockey, and now you're asking guys to do more because of the injuries. I don't know what they have, but they'll still be hard to play against. They will still win some games. I just worry about them long term in terms of in all of these things. Like, I'm patient with Edmonton because I think they can turn it around and still win games and potentially be a cup contender. I'm patient with the Rangers. I don't think they're a cup contender right now. I think they'll get into the playoffs.
Well, wild card team, yeah.
I'm panicking on the Panthers because I don't know if this can be sustained where they can get in the playoffs and do anything.
Yeah.
If it remains like this, because number one, Barkov, we don't know. We don't know what that looks like. You mentioned Bobrovsky, his age. I'm not worried about him as much, but I just think there's too many injuries in it. I don't know if it's going to end.
Only good news, 6-3 in November right now, so they've been playing better hockey. And last up, in the Atlantic Division right now, the Maple Leafs are 3 points back of the Sabres for last place. This is an easy one. I'm panicking. They've played more home games than any other team so far this season. They played 15 games at home, and they're not good. They got the most road games remaining of any team in hockey, and they're 1-5 on the road. And boy, their defense, I know Stoltz has been out, but their defense, they allowed the third most goals per game, 3.67. It's going to be a battle to make the playoffs.
Joseph Wall's back. Maybe that helps. I think I'm going to be patient. I was going to panic on them, but I'm going to be patient. Well, because they've had Berube now, but I just think they're too good. There's been so much change and taking Marner out. They're trying to sort of calibrate their DNA. I'm going to be patient with it.
Wow. Okay. Well, should be getting some of those injured players back soon. Yep. Austin Matthews, Matthew Nice. That would definitely help. Willie Nylander is still a stud. Still to come here to NHL Tonight First Shift. We'll finish things up on style here on a Friday and react to the Sabres promotion. We'll drink to that next. Greatest giveaway ever. That's right. It's a beer saber. Tonight, Blackhawks and Sabres. And Boiler, you can fill up your sword with beer. How good is this?
What could go wrong in Buffalo? Giving fans swords in Buffalo.
I really hope the team steps up tonight. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of fighting there,
guys. Doing it twice. What are the odds they go, 2-0? Probably not great.
Not great.
You lose by 4, they're going to kill each other.
JD, you've got a story about a fun giveaway cup.
Yeah, no, this has been in our laundry room for years. I called my mother after our meeting. I was like, hey, Betty, could you get some pictures? Well,
yes!
We talked about.
Yes!
This isn't the one that we've got, but this, you and I both had this souvenir cup, the Paw Sox, 33 innings, a New England staple. But this one is in our living room, courtesy of Betty Lindbergh out here. The #1 shifty going. She watches every program. Love you, Ma. But yeah, Red Sox 99 All-Star game. One of the best cups you could get.
99. Dude, that one from the Paw Sox in 33 1/3 innings against the Rochester Red Wings. Unbelievable.
Longest game ever. Thankfully, this was the shortest show ever. Thanks for watching NHL Tonight First Shift.